Okay, and we're recording.
So what we are doing is recording a video for our project for our MET class. And we haven't actually met each other before, so we are going to start by introducing ourselves to each other. My name is Heather Elder, and I am in Saskatchewan. And I decided to do MET because I wanted to do a master's in technology, and this has worked out really well for me. I'm quite enjoying the MET program. I also teach grade 4, although I'm on maternity leave right now, but I'm going back quite soon. So if somebody else wants to introduce themselves and we'll keep going.
Okay, I'm Rena. I live in Luanda, Angola. So right now it's 6 a.m. in the morning here. And it's one of the only times that we could get where we were all awake to meet. So it's late at night for some and early for others.
Yes, and I forgot to mention it's 11 o'clock at night here. So it's kind of sleep time, but it's an okay time to be awake. And how about Heather?
Hi, I'm from Woodland of Philadelphia. I currently live in Hong Kong and I teach grade 7 and grade 6. Multicultural education has been a pretty important part of my life, just being international people or teaching abroad, and a pretty wide range of students that have some class per door. And sometimes I have a couple of homesickness. So sometimes I find to serve my students well. I make connections with people back home, or I make connections with people in the world. That's now the MET and previously thanks to technology developed. Oh, and sorry, it's almost 1:30 in the afternoon here in Hong Kong, which probably means I got the best time zone for this call.
And yeah, so my interest in multicultural education, I have to say, I actually work in a very, like a community that is middle class, and it's a pretty healthy community. Almost all of my students are just Canadian students, but in the past 5 years, we've had an influx of Filipino students in our school, and I feel like we haven't addressed the idea of having these Filipino students in our school, and I think it's so important that we're teaching that we are a multicultural country to these kids, and even my own Canadian students who probably are pretty stuck in our little community. They probably don't see the bigger world, and so I think it's important because they're going to move out of my little town, and I think it's important that they know what's out in the big world. How about, Rena, what is your interest in multicultural education?
Well, I work at an international school also. It's my 4th year working in Luanda. So my students are incredibly multinational. They come from probably 15 different countries in a class sometimes. But they also are all expats, or they're all wealthy students that live in Angola. So they have a perspective of the world, but they don't have a perspective of different levels of poverty or different perspectives, really, besides the world that they see, which is a pretty easy one, I think. So they fly around a lot and they do know a lot about the world, but they still really need to study perspective and to study culture so that they kind of have a bigger idea.
Have any of you done a cross-classroom or cross-country study of any sort? No, I haven't either.
I did have buddies just this school year. So I had my grade 6 class buddy who I think was grade 1 from last year, and we make videos for each other, and we sort of do emails just to share. It was mainly the grade 1s who led, and they would ask questions, but yeah, we sort of a social tourism thing. So we helped them discover Hong Kong.
Mm, I like that idea.
Yeah, I remember you shared that at the beginning of the course, right, Heather? About yeah, it looked that was really inspiring because it looked like they learned a lot about each other's countries just from a few exchanges, right?
So we're pretty lucky. Canadians are pretty lucky, or if you are teaching in Canada, because we maybe except for Heather's class, with just the influx of other um, nationalities. Usually, a classroom is made up of some pretty diverse students. And here in Hong Kong, we're 95% Chinese. The city is 95% Chinese, but my class isn't. So it was really nice to have that grade one class, which was really diverse. My class, which was quite diverse, and asking questions and get to, many stories and a lot of different cultural feedback. So that was pretty
Very cool. So this is just a question for both of you. What encouraged you to move to a different country?
Go ahead.
I used to work for the Vancouver School Board. I worked for 2 years as a teacher on call, and I just saw the teacher on call maybe a permanent position, and generally that's 4 to 6 years. I did get a contract, but the way the system's set up, it does take a long time in that school board to make it 100%. So that was my main driving force to go abroad, because you can instantly do a classroom teacher. And I mean, all you have to do is move your life into the country. So I guess it's not as easy for some people, but that's
Yeah, same with me. I didn't even try to get a job in Ontario. I just went to teachers college in Ontario and then applied for jobs overseas. I used to teach English, so I knew that I liked living abroad, and I don't know, it made sense.
Good job. We've actually had a lot of Ontario teachers in Saskatchewan because not very many people, even in Saskatchewan, want to teach rurally. And Ontario teachers who want a Canadian job end up in Saskatchewan. A little bit about BC too, but in my own school we had three Ontario teachers. So I understand that idea of not being able to get a position in your home country.
Are you guys
we did a lot of research for our project. And what did you find most inspiring about the research that you did for our project?
Let's give Rochelle a chance. I think she's where she has different. But Rochelle, you want to take
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if it's my connection that's really bad. I really want to participate, but I can't always hear everything that you guys are saying. But I guess just going off of
you didn't ask me a question, did you? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No. Anyway, I was just gonna say the same thing with me. I didn't even want to get a job in classrooms in BC. I found that there was just more that I wanted to see overseas, and that's just kind of where I wanted to be. I'm back in BC now and trying to find a niche within my own country, but still definitely on a multicultural or in a multicultural environment. So I'm working with students mostly from Asia that come out here for a month at a time, and just kind of immersing them in my culture and learning about them. So it's an interesting exchange. It's definitely not like a regular classroom, and it's not primary either. I'm dealing more with university students.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
On the screencast I'm using, we have 5 more minutes of recording. We don't have to record that long, but there's a 15-minute max.
Do we want to address some of the articles we read in the next few?
Sure. I have to say, I can't hear Rachel at all, so maybe I'll just listen to you guys for now. I had no idea that she was even on because I can't see anything or hear anything from her. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I can hear everybody and see everybody, so that's good because I'm the computer that we're screencasting from. So. I don't know, Rochelle, you didn't get to talk very much at the beginning, so do you want to talk about any article that you connected with or thought would be most influential?
I'm trying to remember, just with the ones actually that we've looked at within this project. I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I can't. It was the one that was called something to do with fortune cookies.
Oh yeah, that
And
was a
when
good one. Let me.
Yeah, when I came across it, it was just so, so detailed and so broken down into like, really just explaining and going around all the different lingo and then breaking down how you would actually approach it and apply it within a classroom. I've found it really, really useful. So I think that'll be something that I'm going to go back to quite often. What about you guys? I know that Rena, you mentioned that was kind of good with you as well.
Yeah,
But
for the same reason, I thought it was a really useful article for teachers. You could read it and there were almost like guidelines about different examples that you could use in your own classroom. And it made me think just about what you should and shouldn't be doing. I think Kathy Short's article was similar in that it talked about to get away from superficial ideas about culture and to really start talking about perspectives and what it means to be from a place or relate to something, the deeper meanings of culture, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. I still haven't read that article, but what you're talking about is definitely, I think, really like key to having. Basically, yeah, if you can get past the superficial level, and that I think just happens so often, and it's really hard to fit in something genuine within a regular curriculum. Yeah, I think you really have to be sort of like globally minded as a teacher and even as a school as well in some way to really make it genuine, to make it authentic.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. Heather, can you hear Rochelle?
Not a single thing.
Luckily, because we'll have a copy of the video, then you can see what you missed.
Yeah.
That would be nice. When we finish, we could try that I can meet her. That would be nice.
That'll be fine. I guess Heather in Saskatchewan or Heather in Hong Kong, we have just 1 minute left. Do you want to talk about any articles that you connected with?
You want me to talk?
Yeah.
My favorite article was the Goldilocks article. I like that because although I teach arts and humanities, I also teach English. And the main idea in that study was that they had grade 2 students, I believe, students, who rewrote that story with their own cultural aspects. So they completely threw out the story and kept the framework, and then would insert everything that was from their own culture, names and descriptions and facial appearance and all of that. But they also brought a lot of modern pop culture. So I think I'm going to try that with my students, even though they're probably a lot older, because I think it'd be fun. Just because they like doing that sort of thing. But of course,